Today I'll be reading my 150th public domain periodical of 2025, the 321st since February 2023, starting with falsehood and fear. Arrogance and will, reasons people kill. Falsehood has a skill manifesting what is ill. Lick the lie as if it's true, then evil will be what people do. Sorcery forces out love and respect, replaced with spells fools can't detect, as they attach themselves upon those strings, the ones that make them do as they are told, despite having no control over intent in an orderer's soul, over an orderer's goal, over a commander's lust for gold. Whether or not their heart is cold, whether or not they have been sold, falsehood and fear go hand in hand as companions that form the strings, as behavior is manipulated by the motive that deception brings. As if the strings are non-existent, the puppets can be bold, thinking they're independent, unaware it's not true what they're told, making what they think is right absolutely wrong. But like any fish on a hook, the barb's attachment is strong. Poem Ivy. Learning from the past, predictable behavior repeats when suffering is induced by rulers on their streets. Those who bank on cruelty, who trust what that investment brings, cannot see what's next when the bell of liberty rings. Those who know what's fair is fair and they deserve the worst, for the sake of self-preservation often make the future cursed. For all who would oppose them or demand that they repent, for the ego of a madman to ovens the labels are sent. The mask of deception changes to fool who doesn't know, those who have not learned or with empathy refuse to go, making them unable to see the hypocrisy in their way, as there is no true sincerity in the make-believe things they say. Partial vision in service to a partial God, one that is an idol that lets them hold the wicked rod. That one that orders punishment to whomever they desire. Woe to the masses who rewarded a sorcerer of fire. Tickled by his tenacity, evading consequence for his filth, those who share that dirty will charge his banner up that hill, where they think themselves superior for putting others down, abandoning the golden rule for purse that comes from the crown. The spirit of Judas Iscariot is shared by MAGA today, but whatever they think they'll gain, they let the label get taken away. Seduced by the lie of malicious eye and the fork of malignant tongue, the one that would rape and murder a living mother's daughter or son. The red flags were ignored for the greed that crept its ill, disguising itself as patriotic to manifest such antichrist will, becoming what they claim to hate by the strings to which they're attached. The corrupted logic of damnation becomes how the innocent are dispatched. Despite their lists of excuses why respect they don't have to extend, the cruelty of the arrogant will find compensation in the end. When the mirror reflects and the very words they spoke are fairly used against them to make their pedestal a joke. Cornered cats don't purr and villains don't follow the rules. Denial is not a river in Egypt, it flows through the heart of fools. There will not be consequence for disobedience to love's command. Why should one be deprived of what can be taken by the hand? Just like the Garden of Eden, where we are told it all began, that ancient serpent is successful getting in humanity to eat from its hand. It was a hole through a woman's chest that sent me on this quest to tackle the demons of reason that curse who should be blessed. For this I've been relentless, enduring only what the driven can, including the insult and ridicule by those who live by other plan. Wounded by wounds that weren't mine, giving those injuries my time, wrestling with the reaper with each protocol's life-saving line. After the fact becomes too late when certain damage has been done, making vanity of our lights and siren, responding to the trajectory of fired gun. The one that broke this proverbial camel's back came to rest in the ribs through which it cracked. Thanks for listening. Lacerating the aorta of my patient who died in the midst of my care, after trying to run from her injury, drowning in blood, starving of air. How could anyone do this to another human being? Just listen to the president speak. Dismissing all good another has done, his words are a predator's beak. Such brings the like-minded glee that a mouth doesn't have to see before saying what's not true for the purpose of cruelty. The dawn of damnation speaks, and the damned extend the dark, with double-speak as a mask to what they know is stark, to what they know they do that is stark. The hatred DJT has shown for press is from the guilt of his own past. It is easier to defame a messenger than erase evidence protected to last. His disdain for all disagreement and vile tongue when it is due, when it's not due, and all the insult toward integrity that won't do what he wants souls to do, including every writer driven to report what is true, something his fabrications despise as he perpetually pollutes the view. The death threats have been made by fans of what's not true, their fantasy of superiority by which they become atrocity's crew. Something the sinful who live without love for more than only their own are quick to believe is sent from above as a right to be cruel to the unknown, or consent without objection to inhumanity they see if they will be a beneficiary to the breakage of an innocent knee. Call people what they are not, and the devil gets to play. Such was the Senate's treason, excusing the filth of the 45th sway. Finding friendship with falsehood, trusting it as a cloak, keeping pressure on the spine until the back of decency broke. Waiting to rake in the spoils, trying to evade what is fair, with bunkers, locations, and personnel who protect them from reason to care. Banking on bully behavior with craft of a sorcerer's tongue, in the mouth of Stephen Miller willing to spill the blood of the young. Such wizardry that is blasphemous, using one of life's names in vain, is what summons the poets of love to remove the masks of the insane. Friends of serendipity, timing that's divine, have been aware of what is coming and appropriately utilized our time. You are holding the faith of a mustard seed or any seed that bears fruit, as I give to the universe my labor, which lack of faith would call not astute. As most say, I should save a copy of everything I write, but that's like saying I don't really believe that its message is a light. That would do more good in another's possession, not stacked in a pile at home. If what I write is true, then freely it should be shown. Freely it should be known. It is my gratitude for life that compels this labor of love. How better to show my sincerity than helping the falling rise above. My poems are public domain, so no one needs to ask if something stirs within them to use them for a good task. What I know today should be less than I know tomorrow. To mass-produce lack of vision would only bring me sorrow. Instead, I give these stapled pages to be received by who knows who, believing the love within them is alive and will do what it should do. Sure, like any fruit tree, much of my rhyme might be lost. But to ever put a price on it, my conduit status would be lost, would be the cost. Sure, like any fruit tree, much of my rhyme might be lost, but to ever put a price to it, my conduit status would be lost. Instead, a Johnny Appleseed of poetry I have been, relentlessly prolific for decades in my quest to make peace among men. This is what will make me poem ivy, near impossible to uproot, with seed and seedlings around the globe whose multitude are each of them new. Meaning centuries will have discoveries, if humans can make it that long, of brand new pages found worthy of print and of song. As tyranny chokes our nation, pretending it's patriotism's deed, I've left a forest of loving seed in preparation for this visceral need. Joseph Stegner, I wrote that November 14th, 2025. May sanity and humanity prevail in our time. I love you all. That was my reading of my 150th public domain periodical of the year 2025, my 321st since February 2023. May love prevail.